to my channel. Today we're going to be talking all about high-end concealers and what I think are the best ones out there on the market for you to buy at the moment. So if you are interested in finding out my top picks, then please keep watching. Okay, so the market is absolutely swamped with so many different concealers, and you go into a store and you've got so much to look at. You never know whether it's going to be suitable for your skin, whether it's going to be suitable for the foundation that you're wearing on that day. So we're going to run through everything today. Which ones are my top picks, what skin type they're suitable for, and what sort of foundation they would look lovely with. We're going to start with if you have a dry to normal skin and you are wearing a more luminous, radiant foundation. We're going to start with an oldie but goodie. This is an amazing concealer. It's by MAC. They are thinking of discontinuing this, and I may pick it every single MAC in the country. So this is really moisturising, it's so hydrating, it's lightweight. It gives you a medium coverage. Now I'm going to say one thing. A lot of these concealers that I'm going to show you today say that they are medium coverage, but they are buildable to full coverage. I would never advise, if you are buying a medium coverage concealer, that you should build it up, especially underneath the eye area. The more product you use, the more likely it is to cake and crease throughout the day. So if you are after a really high coverage concealer, then buy a high coverage concealer. Don't buy a medium coverage and then build it up. So this is a medium coverage. It's such a beautiful, beautiful concealer. So let me show you the packaging. It is a normal MAC packaging. It's £16.50 this. You get 5 mils of product and it comes in 13 different shades. It is a beautiful lightweight product. And if you just pop that on the skin, this is NW15. And you just pat that into the skin and it's just a lovely luminous sheen to it. You're going to get medium coverage, you're never going to get full coverage with this, but it's so beautiful, it's so moisturising and hydrating, and it won't dry your under eyes out at all. Another beautiful concealer that I actually haven't included in my list because I cannot get the shade that I actually want is the Natural Radiant Longwear Concealer by NARS. Absolutely stunning concealer, medium coverage, gorgeous luminous sheen to it. It's really hydrating, it's really lightweight, it's just absolutely stunning. They do it in 22 shades, but for some reason none of those 22 shades are my shade, so I haven't actually bought it, but it'll cost you £24 if you can actually find your shade, and I really highly recommend it. It's such a beautiful concealer. So that's another one. If you do have dry to normal skin and you're wearing a luminous foundation, that is another beautiful one that you can go out and buy. Okay, so let's move on to something that is a little bit more universal. This is suitable for every single skin type, whether it's dry skin, whether it's oily skin. It's an absolutely beautiful concealer, and this is the Este Lauder Double Wear Concealer. I would say that this would look really, really lovely on a matte foundation or on a matte semi-sheen foundation. You could wear this on a luminous foundation, but nothing too dewy, otherwise it would look a little bit strange. This one has a matte semi-sheen finish. It does say that it's matte, but it says that it's natural matte. It is extremely flattering on all skin types. Okay, so this is £20.50. You get 7 mils of product and it comes in 10 different shades. This is the shade 1W, which is light warm. It's really hydrating. It will not budge. They've done wear tests on this for up to 15 hours. This one will be a great one to wear to the gym, as they do say that this is perspiration resistant. It's also humidity resistant and it's water resistant as well. This will not crease into any fine lines and wrinkles, and it will not dry your under eyes, which I think is so, so important for a concealer. This is also great at concealing any blemishes that you've got. If you've got any really stubborn blemishes, I would put this on before foundation rather than putting it on after foundation, and you can always add more after foundation if you need that little bit of extra boost. I would say that this is on the high end of medium coverage. It's definitely not full coverage, but it's definitely on the high end of medium coverage. Okay, so let me show you the packaging. It's actually plastic, even though it looks like a glass bottle. It's a really beautiful product. You're going to have absolutely no issues with this. If you set this in place, this will not budge at all throughout the day. You only need a small amount, and it's just stunning. Really stunning, really hydrating, and really non-drying, and I absolutely love this underneath my eyes. Okay, so let's move on to something which again is a very, very universal product. This is suitable for all age ranges. It's also suitable for dry and oily skin. It's an absolutely stunning product, and it is the Dior Undercover Concealer, and I absolutely love this product. This is going to give you medium coverage. It does say that it's matte. I slightly disagree. This looks amazing on my mum. I would say this has quite a sheen to it, which makes it flattering on everybody. Sort of reflects the light a tiny weeny bit, just giving that impression that you have a lot less wrinkles under there, and it just gives you the smoothest under eyes imaginable, and it will not crease and it will not cake throughout the day. It's really hydrating. It's just absolutely beautiful. So this comes in at £21 and you get 6 ml worth of product. It comes in 11 different shades. This is the shade 010, which is their lightest shade that they do. It goes on with quite a luminous finish, and when it dries down, it does dry down a little bit more matte, but like I said earlier on, there is a little bit of a sheen to it, which makes it just so flattering on every single skin. It's going to give you a medium coverage. It does say it's buildable, but like I said earlier, I don't recommend that you build any concealers up, especially underneath the eye area. This is just such a beautiful, flattering concealer, and I recommend this to everybody. Absolutely gorgeous. Very, very similar to the Este Lauder Double Wear, but this one has a little bit more of a sheen on it, and just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so I mentioned before that I do not recommend you taking a medium coverage concealer and building it up to full coverage, especially under the eye area that can go quite cakey and creasy if you're not careful. So these next two concealers that I'm going to show you are full coverage. These are the ones that I would recommend that you go for if you are wanting a full coverage look. Now the first one is a universal product. It is absolutely amazing and suitable for all skin types, whether you are the driest of the dry or whether you are the oiliest of the oily. Now there are two to choose from. One is the illumination formula and one is the normal formula. I only have the normal formula available, but if you have super dry skin, I would recommend you go for the illumination formula. So there are two to choose from if you have different skin types. So this is the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. It's an amazing concealer. It comes in at £23.50 and you get 8 ml of product. They only have 6 shades, which is really poor. Really poor, but I had to include this in my top 5 because it's an amazing concealer. So this is a full coverage concealer. It's on the low end of full coverage, but it is definitely full coverage. You are not going to get any creasing or caking with this product. It is a non-drying concealer. There are anti-aging properties in there which hydrate, and it's really lightweight. However, the actual consistency of the product is super thick, and a lot of people put this on completely the wrong way and have an absolute mare with it for the rest of the day. The trick to this product is by applying the tiniest little bit, and when I show it you on my skin, you will realize how super pigmented this actually is and how thick this product also is. So like I said earlier, if you have really dry under eyes, go for the illuminating formula, which is a lot more hydrating than the normal formula. If you have really oily skin, definitely the normal formula will be for you. Let me show you the packaging on this. It's quite nice packaging. It is a waterproof product, so you can go swimming and still look the same. This actually comes in 6 shades, like I said before. This one is light ultra fair. I actually have this on today. This is far too light for my complexion. I apologise, but the actual product itself is amazing. let me show you the consistency of the product, because as soon as I squeezed a tiny bit out on my hand, I went, whoa, that is really thick. So it stands up like a really ultra thick, rich night cream. And the amount that I've actually put on my hand is probably 2 applications worth, so 2 full days worth of product. What I would do with this is I would put it on my hand like this, never apply it straight underneath the eye area, because you're going to apply too much and it's just going to look ridiculous. Apply it to the back of your hand and put the tiniest amount on the end of a brush. Pat that on your skin first before you start to apply it. This is an amazing product because it is so super pigmented, you hardly need any. If you apply too much, it is going to go cakey underneath your eye, regardless of how hydrating this is, because it's so super thick. But it was definitely worth a mention. If you put this on properly, it is amazing. Let me show you how super pigmented that is. Wow. Super pigmented. Far too light for my complexion. I really should have gone for the shade up. Kicking myself. But that's by the by. Still an amazing product. Okay, the last product that I'm going to mention today is definitely not universal. This is for anybody with really oily under eyes or really oily skin in general. If you have the tiniest bit of dry skin, you stay away from this product with a barge pole. It's an amazing product, but only suitable for anybody with oily to normal skin. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is the most expensive product out of them all when you consider how much product you actually get in the bottle. It's £20, but you only get 3.5 mils of product in this absolutely beautiful packaging. Can't take anything away from this. This is stunning, stunning packaging. Comes in 14 different shades. This is completely waterproof and it is so super high coverage. So I definitely had to mention it in my top 5 because it's just the best coverage ever. However, don't touch it if you've got dry skin. This is an unbelievable product if you suffer with breakouts. This will cover them up. This actually covers tattoos up. That's how high coverage this is. So it's great for covering up blemishes. It's also great underneath the eye area if you have an oily skin day. Depending on what time of the month it is for me, depends on what concealer I use underneath my eyes, because sometimes I can have incredibly dry under eyes depending on the time of the month, and sometimes it's just an oil swamp underneath there. So if I have an oily day, this is the concealer that I use. Absolutely unbelievable, completely waterproof, shouldn't cake and crease if you're using it on the right skin type and you're setting it in place. Let me show you the product. This is one of those products that if I do have a blemish, I will cover it up with this. You only need the tiniest little dot of product on there, and I would put that on before I put my normal foundation on top of it. Usually if I do this, you cannot see the blemish at all through the foundation. So you would literally just need a couple of dots of product underneath the eye area. That would be it. Don't apply any more than that because you just don't need it. It's so full coverage. Don't apply too much product. That's what's absolutely amazing with these products that are super full coverage, is that you hardly need any, so it's highly unlikely to cake or crease throughout the day because you're not putting too much product on underneath there. Super full coverage. Again, I bought a concealer that was far too light for my skin. Not quite sure why I do that. It's very frustrating. Anyway, I've found if I apply it with a blending sponge, because I use quite a lot of oil and moisturizers underneath my eyes, it just lifts off for some reason on the damp sponge. I find it much easier and more cost effective to just pat that in place with my concealer brush and I get a lot better result that way. So that's just something to bear in mind with all concealers. If you're finding it really difficult to apply the concealer with one particular method, try a different method and that might work for you, because all concealers are completely different, especially if you are adding moisturizers and oils underneath them. Okay, so you may have noticed that I did a review not so long ago on a really high-end, really beautiful concealer that is not on my list, and that is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. Now, this would have been on my list if the Laura Mercier stockists were better at having things in stock, but they're not. And for the last 2.5 months, my shade has been out of stock at Laura Mercier. So I am definitely not going to have something on my top 5 list that you can't get. So the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer is a beautiful product if you can get your shade from any of the stockists around the country. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it's not featuring on my list. But I wanted to mention it anyway. So in summary, if you have a dry to normal skin, or you are wearing a beautiful luminous, dewy or radiant foundation, the MAC Moisture Cover is my pick. It's £16.50 and it's absolutely gorgeous. If you've got a matte foundation on or something with a semi-sheen, then I recommend the Dior Undercover or the Este Lauder Double Wear. These are both beautiful concealers and they are suitable for every skin type. Also, if you're after a more full coverage look, the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer is absolutely amazing. If you have more dry skin, go for the illumination formula, and normal to oily skin, go for the normal formula. This is an unbelievable product and it looks lovely with every single foundation that I have ever tried it with. So this is definitely one to look out for, £23.50. And finally, if you have oily skin or suffer from breakouts, the Urban Decay All Nighter is absolutely amazing, but do not touch this with a barge pole if you suffer from dry skin or even slightly dry skin, because this will dry your skin out like no tomorrow. So only use this if you have oily to normal skin. Amazing product, absolutely unbelievable coverage to this, and you only need the tiniest amount. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please do give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There is a watermark in this corner. If you click on it, it will take you through to my homepage where you can subscribe. Hope to see you all again soon. Bye!